That was a great meeting at church. I really love and appreciate having leadership that wants to refocus every year, that wants to remind us of how we should be doing, the way that we should be serving, and just everything that we should be doing for God. Because it really inspires me for the church work that we're about to start, the things that we're going to go on. I want to be a focused church. I want to be a church that is focused on growth, focused on growing, not because we want bigger numbers, but because we want to impact lives. And that's exactly what our current church wants to do and is doing. And so as we take this journey to plant a church, to start another apostolic work in our town, in our city, that really inspires me to have these meetings and things like that. And the dedication that you see in the church of all the people who came out on this rainy Saturday morning, sacrificing their time to talk about the things of God and how they can do better in their positions, that's the culture that I want to inspire. But that's not at all what this video today is about. This video today is about the frustrations of making these making these videos, making the content that we want to produce. No matter what it is, what you run into, you're going to always have an issue. You're always going to have a problem making these videos. Now, it's worth it. In the end, it always is. But it's funny that you're always going to have some sort of problem, some sort of controversy with what you're trying to do. And what really went to work to inspire this video was something I had happen the other night when I was trying to do really our easiest content and export and publish the podcast. I'm not sure where this is going to find itself in a future video, but these are the things that I said I wanted to capture. And I've been frustrated all afternoon trying to upload the podcast. And what it always comes down to is it's the little things that are going to get you. I've ran through this export process countless times today, confused as to what's going on. And what it came down to was I export at the same time the YouTube version and the audio only version for the podcast. And each time there's this little part here that says MP4, and that's what I always export the videos as. But the audio only will also export as an MP4. And I have them in the same folder with the same name. And so they were overriding one another. That simple name discrepancy, having the same name and overriding the file without me realizing what DaVinci was doing, has been the source of my frustration forever. And currently, I have 52 minutes for this video podcast to export so that I can upload it tonight, because these episodes are supposed to come out on Monday. It should have been up about 2 to 3 hours ago to keep on the normal schedule that we try to keep. It's currently 9:20. I've got another hour to wait for this to export so that I can upload it, which means that the earliest I'll go to bed tonight is 10:30. And if I want to keep up with the morning routine that I've talked about in previous episodes of the podcast, I need to be up at 5:30. Or not 5:30, 5. Sorry. I need to be up at 5 in the morning. So these are the little things that get you with content creation and trying to do YouTube videos. Again, I don't know where this is going to go, but I just had to throw this into some video to share the frustration. Hopefully in the end, it's all worth it. I believe that nothing we do for the Lord is in vain. That's what the Bible tells us. And so I'm going to trust that working this hard to get the podcast to upload is not going to be in vain, that it's going to touch somebody's life. I'm going to believe that the enemy was trying to keep me from getting this important content, this important information out to the people who need to hear it. So definitely click on the link in the description and go check out this episode of the podcast. Needless to say, that was a frustrating experience. And it's those little things that are really what's going to catch you on the video. And hopefully I won't make that mistake again. And that one was definitely my fault. But hopefully I won't make that again. As annoying as it was, I'm glad that I was able to get Well, that's one of those things that is also annoying about making videos is batteries, and batteries never being charged enough. And if you remember a video a while back I did on my phone when we went to Chattanooga, is I was battling the fact of like, well, I need my phone to get to where I want to go and get back from where I want to go, but I also am trying to make videos, when it just made things a whole lot harder, especially considering that this old iPhone's charging port is so full of lint that it does not like to charge anymore. But things like that aren't the only kind of issues that I run into when trying to make these videos. Sometimes it rains and you can't do any outside shots because you don't want to ruin your gear. Other times you plug your microphone into your headphone jack instead of your microphone jack and have no good audio except for what's built in the camera, which really isn't that great. Thanks, Canon. And don't even get me started on those times when you want to try to film in a store, because all the awkwardness and all the things like that, like I really just don't think we're going to be filming in stores anytime soon, unless Bree does it, because I just don't think I'm going to be able to bring myself. If you want to see that on this channel, I don't think it's going to happen. And the other side of it is having to redo everything you do to set up the shot. Even like this shot, I had to get in the car, set my stuff down, get the camera back out, set it up, get out of the car and get back in the car for the shot. So everything you do on video is done twice. And that's if you're lucky. Because if you're anything like me, it's probably going to have to happen a couple times because you've messed up what you were trying to say and what you were trying to do. Which is why we often have bloopers at the end of these videos. And then you have the issue of the cameras and the fact that there's no perfect camera for content creation. For instance, if you do some quick searching on the internet, a lot of people are going to tell you to start with the camera that you already have in your pocket, which is your cell phone. And that's great and awesome. And the cell phone can do a lot of really cool things with video. In fact, the last 4 videos on this channel were all shot on my iPhone. But that wasn't without its share of challenges. For instance, you can't do anything else. If you're wanting to record a time-lapse, if you're wanting to record video, it's not like you can also listen to a podcast in the background or do something like that, because you constantly got to stop what you're listening to, switch cameras, switch this, switch that, even when you're filming things that you're not talking. If you're talking, of course you can't listen to a podcast, but there's a lot of things B-roll wise that I'll do when I'm not talking that this phone is just kind of annoying. And then also the fact that the good camera's on the back where you don't have a screen to be able to see yourself, then you're just struggling all the time to wonder, what does your shot look like? Am I in the shot? Or you just give in, use the front-facing camera like I tend to, and ultimately it ends up not looking as good. But then you also have the camera that I've been shooting this video on. And this camera is our Canon EOS RP. And it's worth mentioning though, right now I'm shooting on my iPhone's back camera, so I have no idea how this looks, but I'm gonna leave it in like this so you can understand those struggles. But like I was saying, this is our Canon EOS RP. This is a great camera. It's a interchangeable lens, mirrorless camera, so you get all the quality, all the features, all the functions that you could possibly want in one camera. But do you see the major issue with this camera? First of all, the onboard microphone, not that great. Secondly, you add a microphone, that's great. However, like I mentioned earlier, you could plug it in the wrong port. And it's just big, it's in the way. And even yet, with the exterior camera screen, you have to be careful how you operate it so as to not hit this cable, which kind of just adds one little extra bit of pain to a pretty great camera. And this camera can do it all, except be compact. It has every other feature that I want. HDMI out for when we do the podcast. It's got a touchscreen, it's got the flip out screen, it's got everything. This is a great all-around camera, but it's bulky. And even when you put a smaller lens on it like this lens, it's just not that much smaller. It's still gonna always be a pretty big camera and something that takes a little bit more work to set up. And then you have cameras like this, which I don't know if it'll focus, but it's the Canon V10. And it seems like a great camera. Built-in tripod that you can flip out whenever you need it. Small, easy, compact. It has the ability to go anywhere with you, fit in your pocket, and record video. But the thing is, it's still just not the best camera. I mean, you can look at the reviews, you can look up videos, and a lot of people agree. While the idea is fascinating, the camera itself is just not that great. And that's really the thing that I've learned by making all of these videos, is you're never going to find a camera that's perfect. You're never going to find a camera that does everything that you need it to do for what you want to do. Even in photography, it's very challenging, very difficult to find the camera that really meets every single one of your needs. And what it turns into is having more gear. And that in itself ends its own challenges. Like for this video, I've used my iPhone and I've used this camera. And that's kind of the best way to film a video like this. But now I have to get the footage from 2 different places. But it's not all bad. It's not like making these videos isn't fun or isn't enjoyable or doesn't have its good aspects. It's like anything. There's going to be good and there's going to be bad with no matter what you're doing. But I wanted to make this video because I don't feel like a lot of people talk about the reality of content creation. There's people out there like, oh, I just love it. I love making the video. I love editing. And that may be true. And I really do enjoy making the videos, coming up with the ideas. And I do enjoy editing them and seeing those ideas come to fruition. But it doesn't come without its painful, constant challenges. Every video comes with its own challenge that you have to adapt to and overcome. Sometimes your cat's shaking the camera by scratching its face on the tripod, but you really don't want to have to reshoot this scene. But that's just a part of it. That's just a part of making videos and doing, it's okay, honey. And then there's just always something, right? But it's okay. It's a part of making these videos. It's what makes it fun and what makes it exciting. But nobody really talks about it. Everybody makes it out to be this grand, fun thing, when in reality, it's going to have its challenges, and you don't need to be discouraged by those. You just need to be willing to go through it. And the truth is, every video that we make, we're not always going to be 100% happy with it because it didn't go to our plan. But just like all these channels I've started saying recently, it's all about publishing. Just publish, just get your video out there, and just put what you have on your heart out into the world. And I do want to encourage people to get out there and make videos, make content. That's not what this video is about, but it's about giving you a sense of reality and a check of the things that are true. You're going to have struggles. Sometimes you're going to have issues editing and exporting and figuring the things out that you want to do. And maybe you're not even going to meet your deadline because of it, or you're going to have to stay up extremely late to figure out what was wrong and meet your deadline like I did the other night. Sometimes you're going to buy a camera and you're not going to be happy with it because it doesn't do everything that you want it to do. And I didn't mention it, but I've tried a lot of cameras, GoPros, action cameras, different things like that, and a lot of them just don't fit every single need that you're going to have, and that's okay. But I want to encourage you that even though despite these things, know that they're true, know that they're out there for everybody. No content creator is going through this without frustrations, without struggles, but the truth is a lot of people just don't want to show those things on video. And so I hope I could have helped you with that today. And the truth is with those other people is I think that we need more Christian content creators in the world, especially people that are putting out good things, good wholesome things, good things about faith. And that's why I want to leave you with a verse, because as Christian content creators, sometimes it can feel like it's not worth it, or it can feel like things, and I don't know how people of the world get through it when things don't work out, when things are frustrated, and how they keep pushing forward. But one thing that pushes me forward, even when it's stressful, even when it doesn't get the views that I would hope it would get, or anything like that, every time the struggles comes, there's a verse in 1 Corinthians chapter 15 that really hits home and I really apply to making videos like this. And it says, "Therefore, my beloved brethren, be ye steadfast, unmovable, always abounding in the work of the Lord. For as much as you know that your labor is not in vain in the Lord." Other translations put it a little bit simpler and say that nothing that we do for the Lord is in vain. That means that when we do something in service to God, it has a purpose, it has a good meaning. It's not for nothing, it is for something, and it can help bless people. And so we should continue to do it even when it's frustrating, even when it's struggle, and we should put those things out even when we're not thinking they're perfect, because the truth of the matter is, what you may not think is perfect, someone else may think is great and may be exactly what they need to hear. So as frustrating as it can be to make these YouTube videos, I'm going to keep doing it. I'm going to keep pushing, keep trying my best, and keep growing. And I'm going to eventually learn to look at this lens on this camera instead of that screen. But I just hope that this has helped you. I hope that it's been some kind of encouragement. We're going to keep making the videos. We're going to push through the trials and the struggles because we believe it's worth it. And I believe that's going to be the case for many of you, even if you're struggling right now. Maybe you clicked on this video because you realize the pains that come and are associated with doing a YouTube channel and making the videos, and you wonder if anybody else feels it. Know that we do, that there's other people out there who are feeling the very same things that you are, but we're going to push through it. I'm going to continue to make the videos even when they frustrate me, because I feel like it's worth it, and it's a good way of serving the Lord and just showing people what real Christian life looks like. even if we can't show everything. And so be sure to subscribe to the channel, because I'm going to be putting out a video every single week about something, different subjects, different things in the Bible, different Bible challenges even, pushing myself to go further and deeper with God, and those are things you're not going to want to miss. So we hope to see you in the next video, but until then, God bless. Oh, and one more thing. What do you guys think of the way that this camera looked? Because my current thought was to get that V10, and I still kind of like the idea of it, but I'm also leaning towards getting another one of these RPs, because this is technically my wife's camera, and so she uses it for photography and things like that, and I don't know how often I'm going to be able to still it, but it did work very well today and do some things, even though it's still more cumbersome than I would like to have it be. Putting the microphone on, doing all those things is a little bit annoying, but if the quality is good enough and I can just continue to use it right now and practice, maybe that's what we'll do. So let me know in the comments below what you guys think of this camera and the quality that it's put out in this video compared to our others.